Hello, everyone, and welcome back to VectoScalar Tech Talk show. In this episode, we have an amazing guest, Apeksha Jain, who is going to cover the key insights about women leaders and innovators in tech. Welcome, Apeksha, to our show.
Thanks, Vikas. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to be here on the platform.
Thank you very much. Thanks again. And for our audience, let me give you a brief introduction about Apeksha. Apeksha is a seasoned tech leader with 17 plus years of experience in top companies including Amazon, US, Arista Networks, Parallel Wireless, HSC, Broadcom, Aricent, to name the few. And she has worked in, as I understand, three countries: India, UK, and US, and must have a diversified background to give us the key insight about that how women tech leaders can further grow and support the industry. Yeah. So, Apeksha, would you like to brief? I've just given you the synopsis with our audience that the main things key things about the your journey, but as a woman, particularly as a woman in tech, what was your
Mhm.
journey and how it has been so far?
Yeah, thanks, Vikas. Thanks for giving a wonderful introduction. I don't think I need to go through my introduction. So, hello, everyone. I think everyone who is joining the call is from India. So, good evening. But if anyone is joining from US, from EST time zone, good morning to the folks. I am happy to be on this platform and sharing my insights from that I have learned during my career of 17 years, as Vikas already covered. So I think journey in tech is already, I think, for everyone. It comes with lots of ups and downs, and it's challenging for everyone. But since Vikas emphasized on women in tech, I think being a woman uh, in a leading position, that brings in more challenges. It brings in more things to navigate. I don't want to start with a lot of the challenges part. So I think I'll just go over how I navigated my journey, how I worked on shifting my mindset from the time when I started fresh out of college to where I am today. So my journey has been a blend of rewarding experiences, a lot of achieving goals, but obviously with a lot of challenges, right? But for the most part, I'll say for myself that I've been able to, or I have learned the skill to navigate the challenges and achieve my goals. I want, the way I want to put it is that yes, there are challenges. There are challenges when when you're a woman, when you're a woman of color. So there is a different aspect when you're working in US, right? So it brings in different complexities, and then working in different countries. I have, as Vikas mentioned, I've worked in three countries. I worked in India, UK, and US, and all three have been like drastically different. Honestly, I did not expect US to be very different from UK, but it was quite different. It was a big cultural shift. The expectations in UK were different, and the expectations in US were different. And then for a woman becoming a mom and taking care of your kid or kids, that adds a lot to your professional journey as well. But the way I have seen my journey is I've accepted the challenges. I've accepted these situations, these problems, the mindset, and I have learn to overcome them and channelize my energy in achieving my goals instead of you know uh, just talking about challenges, that this is like this and I cannot do this. So this is the message I think I want to convey in my talk. I want women to feel empowered, that they can do anything. If you want, you can do anything with a change of mindset. I mean, just to give concrete example, when I started my career fresh out of college, uh, being the only woman, it used to bother me. Like, I remember I was working with an organization. It was a big organization. I was the only female in a team of 25 men, and that just unconsciously bothered me. And I took a decision to actually leave that company without having another offer in hand. uh, and I don't know what was bothering me. It was just within my mind, or it was something happening. But I just took a abrupt decision of leaving my job, and that definitely didn't work in my favor. It was a good organization. I was doing well professionally. I could have grown there. But starting from that time, I started like surfacing my own thoughts, like, is this something which is working for me? So one of my coaches actually once told me that, if your intelligence is not working for you, uh, then there is a fundamental problem. You know, you're not intelligent. I mean, to brutally put it, you're not intelligent. So then I sort of started working on myself, shifting my mindset. I cannot go and change mindset of other people. And then I trained my mind to think of myself as a leader in tech instead of a woman leader in tech. So I stripped that word for me, and that helped me the way I saw myself, that helped me the way I presented myself. And it stopped bothering me if some people didn't look didn't look at me the way I wanted them to. So that mindset shift has really helped me. But I want to take a pause here. Don't want to keep going on and on. I want to Vikas to ask me any further questions. You're not audible, Vikas.
That was a particular insight that I think all women leaders should be looking for, is that the change would start from within. Despite the situations or the struggles that they are having, the change, as you just mentioned, that the solutioning started coming from to you when you started shifting your mindset that, okay, this is the scenario, and what is the best that you can do while those challenges are there, right now. But I'll Apeksha will typically ask specifically about that experience, that when you said that you
Mhm.
left that company. But what would be your suggestion to any other women, particularly in that situation, that what differently they would have done in that scenario?
uh I if I'm if, if I were me 10 years
Yeah.
ago, I would have probably taken a sabbatical, you know, tried
Okay.
to work with myself. Okay, if the problem that I'm seeing, is it actually a problem? And what will be the impact of my abrupt decision on my career? Right, so I would have considered all those aspects, and I would have been more vocal. I would have, let's say, if something was making me feel uncomfortable, I would have talked to the HR, and not just keep boiling everything inside me, and then just take a decision to just leave the job. Eventually, that would have been the solution, that would have been my final step. But it should be more thoughtful. So that's how so this is how you grow in your career. It's not just professionally, in your mindset as well. You always think about the impact of any decision that you are taking, small or big, on your own career.
Sure. Yes, yes. So probably without taking that major step, there are other possibilities that now you can think of. First is sabbatical, and second is to at least talk to HR or probably the reporting manager that this is the situation
Yeah.
and this is how I am feeling in this situation. If anything can be done in that scenario, that would be a great help, right?
Yeah.
Probably I'll twist the same question, because I have been talking to many women leaders, and they have again and again on the dais, in on one-to-one conversation, they have shared that there are challenges and there are some best practices to get over those challenges. So probably if you would have been the manager of that team, and there is one another fresh person joining that company or with some experience, what you would have done differently, knowing that this could be a scenario?
Yes, that's a very good question, Vikas. So yes, part of the responsibility falls on me, because as an experienced leader, I should know that this could be a possible problem. I think in this case, one-on-one mentoring helps, and then opening a channel of communication. So this is what I would do. Like, I have many females in my team right now, but it's not just one. So it's opening a channel of communication, that is something which is bothering you, you can come and tell me, right? Just to make them feel more welcomed and not left out. Like, I'm there to support you. And if
Okay.
she's facing some specific challenges, depending on the gravity of challenges, right, not every challenge is the same, and sometimes it
Yes.
can be our own, our own imposter syndrome as well, that I've joined a big tech company and I'm feeling that it is because I'm a woman, that's why it's happening. May not be the case. So uh, you know as a leader, it's my responsibility to help them. And if something requires some other action, then it is again my responsibility to help them navigate the right channel for resolving that problem.
Sure, sure. Probably is a message to probably the men leader in that case, that
Yes.
they might not be knowing that something of that sort can even exist, and hence may not take any action. So it may be just an extra level of awareness that if that possibility exists, how you can make sure that as a leader your team is feeling comfortable while working in the situation, right?
Right. So I'm seeing actually a shift in the trend these days, that male leaders, they are aware, they acknowledge. It's not that nothing like of that sort is happening. I mean, it recently happened, and then they acknowledge. But if I compare these times to previous times, like 10 years ago, no, there was no awareness. And then companies are also, for the most part, I've seen they're taking steps, maybe not all companies. Like, there are trainings that we have to mandatorily go through,
So
unconscious
probably
bias.
I'll interrupt because I think we have a similar question in the pipeline. So Bhavna
Mhm.
Mia is asking, what initiatives or programs have you seen be effective in supporting women in tech field? So you were about to speak on that aspect, I think.
Many actually. So I was actually a part of a diversity recruitment team, and that gave me a good exposure to what steps, to what extent the companies are thinking, right? How to be more diverse, give equal opportunities. Uh, so I know we used to go to just women specific, women colleges, and make sure that their efforts and their tech skills are recognized, and they're not sort of just lost, right? So that was one. And then the same company, I remember they had a program called re-internship. So that was quite interesting. Actually, I was quite you know i was uh, uh, I was happy that the company I was working for had, given a thought to that program. So it was actually for women who had taken a break and they wanted to re-enter, the industry. So the program was structured very nicely. Like, it wasn't like an immediate job offer, but it was like a 6 months of re-internship. So I was mentoring a few, and I could really relate. Being a mom, I mean, I could relate. Okay, the challenges she's going through, she has to go pick up the kid. So uh, so we were expected, like, we had that guideline, we were expected to be more empathetic towards them, and then we would evaluate them. Okay, 6 months, are they able to manage their professional and personal life? And then we would extend an offer. So that was something, that was one initiative that really struck out, and helped women get into the industry again.
Okay. Thanks for giving information about these two programs. Probably during this talk itself, we will discuss more on this aspect so that especially women leaders who are looking for such opportunities or can benefit from this program, we discuss them in more details. But broadly, I hope, Bhavna, thanks for asking, first of all, the question. And I hope your question is answered to the broader sense. And for the others as well, people who are watching the show right now, if you have any question, and I must say, because considering the kind of topic that we are having, you should have some question that how you perceive this topic as women leaders and innovators in tech. What is your perception? You can type in the chat box and I'll be taking those comments slowly and gradually. So my next question, Apeksha, is towards the direction that probably women at different stages of life may have a different kind of challenges, right? So probably
Yes.
the person who has just entered into the industry versus someone who is getting married and they may have, or transitioning to other countries versus having kids. Probably these are the different phases, and probably someone who has taken a break. So in your personal experience, if we talk about the phases, the first phase where probably, as we know, especially in India, I'm not sure how is the strength in US, but in a typical engineering college it is like 80-20 or 90-10, that you see most of the classroom with boys and very few girls who are in the engineering class. And if we extrapolate, this is how we are entering, seeing the entry into the market, right, in the industry. So what are the things that these girls can do differently to be prepared a little bit more when they are entering into the industry? What are the, do you have any one or two suggestions for them who are just entering into the industry?
Uh, Here actually, since you mentioned it's it's low in India, and I did my masters from India, so yes, the ratio is low in India, but I've seen it better here. Actually, in the teams also, the ratio of men versus women, yes, it is better. Or maybe DEI is picking up pace. That could be the reason. I don't know. I've been in US from last 8 years. So, for women, I think, or girls who are fresh out of college, uh, it could be overwhelming. So, if I remember my time, when there were less females in the team, it used to be overwhelming at times. And it can actually, just deviate your path. So, my suggestion would be to have a mentor, you know, and if possible, it will be really, really good to have a female mentor. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a racist here, but
Yeah.
um, they resonate more. Like, for example, when I joined Amazon, I picked like a female leader who's very senior to me. Yes, I could connect with her more. I could see that, she understands what I'm saying more, right? So she helped me to a large extent, navigating things within a big organization. So having, if your organization, wherever you join, if they have a mentoring program, uh, you should definitely join that. uh, I've seen it's mostly undervalued. People don't give importance to mentoring. When they join, they're like, okay, I'll do all the cool tech stuff, and I'll grow. I'll do this. I'll become a leader. No, the soft skills also play an important role. Building relationships play an important role, and the mentor can help you how that specific organization works, how you can grow, how you can not let yourself getting overwhelmed. So that really helps. And I don't know, you asked me for two suggestions, but I think this mentoring covers. And the second is, I think, which is more general, is never give up attitude. There will be times, like for example, my 17 years of career, this has not been like a smooth, a sailing curve. I had a 2 years of break, and then I changed countries, and then became a mom. And uh, you know I was literally, I used to feel I was nowhere in my career. But it's all temporary. I think, you can always bounce back. Even if you are taking a break, always keep yourself updated, with where the industry is headed. Let's say if someone is taking a break at this time, AI is everywhere, right? So you need to keep yourself aware even if you're not working.
Okay, thanks for answering that question. And I see more comments coming up in the chat box, and I'm sure because it is of the interest of many women leaders and women in tech. Divya Arora is asking, how can women on career break get opportunities? And probably you were talking about the re-internship in the same regard. So now you can explain it more, how that
Yeah.
can be helpful.
Yeah, right. So it is definitely challenging. I had a 2 years career break. It wasn't a long career break, and actually at the same time, it was a country shift for me. I moved from India to US. So I think I've seen companies, and I don't want to disregard the fact that I think I've seen this problem more in India, where a career break is you know seen as a stop point for someone, that it is like a indication of their incapability. But that's mostly not the case, right? If someone has worked for 10 years and has chosen to take a break due to some family situation, right? It doesn't mean that you can just wipe away 10 years of career break, 10 years of professional experience.
True.
I have not seen that so much here in US. And I've been here from last 8 years. I do not know what is the trend in India. But from your side, I think you can just keep going and do certifications, like, to put it concretely, do certifications and uh, keep yourself updated. I think that is becoming very important, keeping yourself updated with what the market ask is. For example, one of my friends, actually, she was with me in in one of my previous companies in India. She was a tech lead. She got married, came to US, and then she was living in some university area. She did not get a job, like, for 8 years, and she was in a testing profile. But she started small. She's into development now. She's, let's say, not getting, not at that level, not getting paid well, but it has given her an opportunity, to enter the market again. So at least now she is employed. So if you have a career break, I would differ from having an expectation that I'll join at the same level. Unfortunately, you may have to start from a lower level, a lower paycheck, but that's a break that you get. And then you navigate yourself up the ladder from there.
Okay, that makes total sense. So, in again and again in your conversation, Apeksha, I'm seeing that first you accept the situation, that whatever is the situation that has happened. So instead of probably that situation keep bothering you, first accept that this is the current situation, this is the scenario. Even if there is a break, there is a break, and then again probably that inspirational statement that start small, start from wherever you are. That you again start your journey, start taking breaks. It can be steps can be in the form of certification or a smaller paycheck job. And probably those are the challenges that the main theme of this podcast, that probably as a man we may not recognize that even those things are happening at your peer level. And as a men we need to have that more awareness that these are the things, those are happening, and how we can help the other side of the picture, right?
Yes, yes. For men leaders, I would say, uh, you know, and I'm seeing a change. I'm not. I think there are a lot of men in this in this
Yeah.
podcast, so I don't want to say any random thing. But uh, you need everyone needs to be more empathetic of the situation. It's not that then men don't become fathers, right? They know how what their spouse, their partners go through. So be more empathetic, be more accepting, and anyone's temporary performance is not an indication of their caliber, right? So give them a chance. So that's the
Yeah.
way I
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
I think that's a profound learning from this conversation, that don't just judge the situation, give them a chance. Like whatever is the situation, just don't try to extrapolate. I think in the same regard, we have another question coming from Simple Setia, who is asking: women often face issue while balancing their personal and professional responsibilities. What tips as a mentor would you give to your fellow women?
I would actually give a tip to men peers, not
Okay,
women
please
here,
go ahead.
right? Isn't it? So it requires a shift in both, and probably more in men.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yes, I cannot change the mindset. I mean, I usually my fund of life is, okay, accept what it is and change yourself. So I think, as I was saying, these situations in life are temporary. uh, and if I see myself, like, when I started my career, I probably wanted to see myself somewhere else 17 years down the line. I mean, I'm not like super contented with where I am, but there were situations in life. There was a break, and not just a break. There was some family situations. Uh, but I have that attitude. Okay, it's okay. So uh, if you are not doing well for a few years, let's say, I think the question, I just deviated. The question was, family responsibilities and professional responsibilities. It does make a
Right.
difference. I cannot say that it doesn't make a difference. You, like, have a constant responsibility of, let's say, taking care of a newborn, and then once a mom, always a mom. So you're always taking that responsibility. But I have learned to see that also as a temporary phase, right? uh, you may be doing this much today because you have more family responsibilities, but as the child grows, you can start focusing more on your professional career. And as the child becomes independent, there is really nothing you can do about it. Like, a day has 24 hours, right? There is nothing really you can do about, or you don't want to ignore your child. That's how, I mean, these are just my learnings, me talking to myself. My kid is 7, and yes, I cannot take like travel opportunities randomly, but okay, I think that okay, she'll be 10, she'll be 11, I can do that more, so nothing is stopping me. It's just the timing that you need to navigate and come to an acceptance. Okay, this is what is my situation, this is what I can do. Maybe 3 or 4 years down the line I will be able to do more.
Sure, sure, makes sense. So again, to accept the situation that there is this situation, and then plan it that slowly and gradually in near future or in later future, how we can plan our decisions so that it is aligned with the current responsibility, and also we can see the career growth the way we want to see, right?
Yeah, and there's just one more thing I want to add. There is a short-term plan and a long-term plan,
Yeah.
right? So, like I remember someone asked me how you navigate, the career break. So when you start after a career break, when you're starting small, it's a short-term plan, but you should always have a long-term plan in mind because you don't want to be there where you're starting from, right?
Okay.
So you just grow from there.
Okay, thanks for answering that question. I see another question coming from Dwadashi, who is asking, what strategies have you found effective in leading diverse teams?
So by diverse, you mean like gender
Mix
diverse
of men
or
and women.
globally diverse?
Probably this would be in consideration of the discussion that we are having, gender diverse.
Uh, so yes, I think it again comes, to the same discussion, right? Women go through multiple phases in life compared to men. So I see that difference. I notice that difference in my team. Right now, my team, I have 11 engineers, and I would say equal ratio, equal number of men and women. uh, and it's not something I would not like make like a set in stone statement. Then women are more they think twice before they speak something, or they are not that vocal. But I've just generally seen in the mindset that you know uh, uh, they have to be told that it's okay. You can just speak out if you have questions, even if you're wrong. Just speak out, be true to yourself, because if you don't, then you're not helping yourself. So that's one thing I think I have to work with women more than men. I don't think men have to be told that speak out, but women have to be, and take it easy. I'm not sure if women in general take a lot on themselves. I do, but I think probably other women too. So I was just having a discussion with my engineer, and I told her, okay, take it easy. Nothing is happening. Just relax. So it's just the general mindset of the expectations that has to be worked with women engineers more than men.
Okay.
That's the difference I've seen.
Okay. So probably being vocal in the situation where it is required, and communicate your ideas and have a confidence that okay, even if it is wrong, it's okay. Not to always be on the back step in that situation, as you are explaining, right?
Yeah, yeah. And coming back to our topic actually of challenges as a woman, right? So yes, there will be times when other genders, when men will try to overpower the conversation. I mean, the way I do is, okay, let them talk, let them finish, and then I will have my turn, and then I will speak. So just don't let that overwhelm you, that you cannot do it, or he said that. I think just sticking to your core really helps.
Okay. Thanks for answering that. I have another question coming from Shubham Gupta, who is asking, what steps do you think tech companies should take to promote diversity and inclusion? You talked about two things, probably the things that you have already seen happening, but anything else as per you which can be a suggestion to other entrepreneurs or owners that they can do differently?
So it has two parts, Vikas. One is the companies doing it, and second, we as responsible, leaders in an organizations. The companies cannot impose a mindset, right? They can just set up trainings or make the trainings mandatory. So I think we mostly covered, but I can just again mention like the re-internship program. Not every company offers that, but I'm seeing a change in the trend. Yes, companies are doing that. And then diversity recruitment, it's a big thing. Diversity recruitment, like we have full affinity group where uh, we go to women colleges, and then we have mentorship programs. And I'm not seeing a hesitation in people that they're hesitating that I want to connect with a women leader only. I want to have women as a mentor. You can just say it. It's pretty understandable.
Yep.
So mentorship programs, I think, as I was saying, mentorship programs are undervalued. I have found it super, super helpful. So even if it is
Okay.
undervalued, yes, you should leverage that. And then training for unconscious bias. I have seen that becoming a trend in last 4 or 5 years. Though it's usually a
Okay.
smart training, but it helps. So these are the things the companies can do. But I think in general, it's us, it's our team, it's our organization who also needs a mindset shift.
Okay, sure. Thanks. So, would you like to give some more details about training for unconscious bias? What it is all about and how one can train themselves for that?
Um, I can give an example which I really
Sure.
like. So, uh, like US is a country of immigrants, right? We have people of different color and different racial background. So generally, like women, not women, actually, people of color, they are seen, unconsciously seen as more aggressive, right? Compared to you know other races. So and it didn't occur to me as well. I mean, I'm acknowledging, but when I did the training, I was like, okay, we tend to have that mindset, and I also need to change that. If someone is from a person of color, that person doesn't necessarily have to have that traits which I am expecting. Oh, he or she will be aggressive. No, it's not that. So you need to come with a very unconscious, with a mindset that everyone is same, and whenever you're starting a conversation, it's starting from scratch. It doesn't come with the baggage. So that unconscious bias training, that really helps. Like actually, I even know that in one of the companies, in one of the big fan companies only, uh, at some point the interviews were also happening without the video on, because if you turn on the video, then you're actually having a
You
bias
can
in
have
your
a
mind.
bias.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's useful. Oh, thanks, Shubham, for asking the question. I hope your question is answered. I have another question, but it is quite similar to the previous one. But still, I would see that how we can take it differently. The question is coming from Nikhil Agarwal. How do you manage work-life balance, and what advice would you give to other females in tech striving to maintain the balance while driving innovation? So, any particular thing that you have done? I talked about different phases of women in tech, and we talked about early stage, you talked about the kid stage, but when you are coming back to the industry, what things that can be done? Or probably if you like any particular example of when you transitioned from, even change the country, right? When you had a career break for 2 years, and then you, in the meantime, you also shifted your country, then again it will require work life balance, that transitioning to a new job, new country, managing the gap. Any example, that different example, personal experience that you like to share here?
I took it easy, you know uh, when like changing a country, or getting married, having a child. These are all big changes in your life, right? So as I said, I naturally tend to take a lot on myself. So I had to train my mind to take it easy for that phase. But going to Nikhil's question, I think he's specifically asking about managing work life balance in general and not, I think, related to any specific,
Yeah,
phase in life.
phase align. Yes.
So again, I think, as I said, I mean, I will give advice to men, not women here, right?
So any 2 3 actionable item from men who are listening to this conversation?
Yeah. So if you're men leaders and the way you expect your female peers or female engineers to work, the expectations that you have from them, I think you should map that to your partner and think of her as, also having a full-time job and provide her the same support so that she
Okay,
can live
that's
up to
one.
the expectations of her boss.
Okay. 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 Any other suggestion before I move to the? It seems the people are liking and have curiosity about this topic, and I have one or two more question. So just wanted any other actionable item for men?
No, I think I was just saying that partially jokingly as well. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, so the way I've managed is, delegating things, delegating tasks. So as I said, a day has 24 hours. There's only so much you can do, right? And I don't preset anything that, I have to give this much time to my kid, or I have to give this much time to my work. So there are days when I will be working 12 hours. I think that's the good part of our software industry. It gives you a lot of flexibility. If I have to work on a document when she goes off to sleep, okay, that's the time, that's my time. I work for 2 3 hours, and there may be time during the day when she needs me. So I've made myself more adaptive, more flexible, and just uh, going on a need basis, like prioritizing things, maybe just every day, that this is the need of the time, this is what I need to do. That has helped. I mean, just don't always have a preset notion that this is, oh, what will happen if I don't do this, what will happen if I don't meet this deadline, if I don't deliver this document. Presenting yourself and having an open conversation at your workplace, that also helps. That doesn't mean, like, you're looking for sympathy, but hey, this is a personal situation, and my family is important, and I couldn't work on this. I'll put my best effort and I'll do it, right? So that's one thing. And then on a personal side, I have I have actually learned, it wasn't that it was always there, to delegate things, delegate tasks, because taking care of a kid is also temporary. It's, let's say 10 years, 11 years, kids don't listen. So delegate as much tasks as you can. Like, the way I tell myself, okay, watching a movie, relaxing for 3 hours is more important for me than doing some household tasks. I'll just delegate it to someone.
Got it. So two actionable items. One is definitely delegation. Use if you can delegate certain tasks because you can't do it all. First to understand, and second is that best utilization of time. See how when time is going to be available. And third thing, another interesting thing, that just tell it upfront. Don't just keep it to yourself that I'll put my best. You can tell it to the upfront and have an open communication that there is some priority at home as well, and probably I'll do my effort best, but this is the situation. So letting other person know that okay, this is the situation as well, which is there. Now with that thought, I will come to the last question, because the
Mhm.
podcast was quite interesting and people have been asking a lot of questions. So last question is coming from Bhavna Mia, who is asking, to grow in an organization, building network is crucial for career development, yet it can be particularly challenging for women. Can you share your experience and strategies for effectively networking in such environments, and what advice would you give to other women facing similar challenges?
I'm not sure if it's a two-way communication, but I just want to understand, what are the challenges that you face so that, I
So
can also give a concrete answer.
yeah, so as I understand, probably based on my experiences, sometimes uh, when there are some networking meetings and people expect people to network with others, so which is crucial for career development. probably could be particularly challenging for women for just like that and network with other the way otherwise men will do, right? Or probably meeting over a cup of coffees and frequently meeting that those kind of meetings. That's my understanding of the challenge. If you can answer that way, otherwise if Bhavna has some other perspective, she can write in the chat box and I'll bring back the conversation.
I mean, I can just generally say, right? Because I need to understand the challenges first. It's, I think we talked about it in the beginning. It's a mindset shift. Like if you are thinking that you are having a challenge, or if you are seeing yourself that, there are 10 men, having a conversation and I cannot go uh, because they will, have a different perception about me, then there is nothing you can do, about changing their perception. You have to change yourself. You have to, we have like a leadership principle, having backbone. So you go and you make a conversation. You might actually be even surprised. Nobody cares. It's probably in your mind. And I'm not like, trying to suppress the fact that there are challenges. There are, but it's mostly training your own mind for your own self, that helps. I mean, networking is important. Like one practical thing you can do is, like, if you know that you're going for an event, right, and there are some specific people whom you want to network with, right, you can just drop a hi message to that person, just introduce yourself. So pre-introduction, usually these conferences have apps like Women in Tech,
Yes.
right? I've done that. Join some groups in advance and introduce yourself. Tell your agenda. What are you looking for? That's important. Even if you don't have an agenda and you're just networking, uh, make up an agenda that this is why I want to meet you. You are doing this so successfully. You're doing this. I've read your paper. Read your article, and I want to get more insights. So it's just like breaking the ice, and
Yeah.
that can help.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that insight. Thanks, Bhavna, for asking the question. I hope your question is answered. And with that, and we have come close to the closure of this event. And now I'll be sharing the contact detail of Apeksha for most of you who would like to follow her with her great work that she is doing in the industry. You can connect with her and follow her on her LinkedIn channel, which is LinkedIn profile, which is mentioned below. And again, thanks, Apeksha. Thanks for sharing your beautiful insights and experiences with others. I'm sure these insights are going to be helpful for men and women both, that how we can create a conducive environment to have more women leaders and innovator in tech industry. Before we close for the session today, any last message for the audience before we close?
Uh, yeah, I think just uh, be true to yourself, and stick to your core. Even if something is not happening right as you planned for a period of time, just don't let that overwhelm you. So keep going.
Keep going and stick to your core. And also, as you mentioned in the beginning itself, that at some point of time when someone is facing challenges, stop looking yourself as women in tech leader. Just focus that you are a tech leader in the industry and do whatever is necessary, right?
Yeah, which is for
Get them
you.
there.
Always the
Yes.
focus should be you in your career.
Yes.
The focus should be, okay, how is it going to impact me?
Yeah.
So
Again, thanks, Apeksha. Thanks for sharing your beautiful time here. Yeah, keep watching, keep growing. And everyone, do join our next podcast again, VectoScalar Tech Talk. We'll be coming on with another topic, and we'll be sharing more insights and experiences.